training where I don't want it to end, you know. It's like, I'm going to miss this so much, and that where you're not totally exhausted and just feel overwhelmed. The pace of this has been fabulous. I started using Flow and Grow's curriculum, gosh, 2 years ago, at least 2.5 years ago, I guess. I started with the yamas and niyamas and just fell in love with it, and then started communicating with Lara and got more and more. And it's just, you know, we started building that relationship then. But it's just, everything is so accessible, and everything, no matter what your background is, no matter what direction you're coming from, and all of us, this is one of the things I've loved about this too, is we all have different experiences and different backgrounds, and we all bring different things, and then it all comes together. So it's so accessible to whatever and wherever you come from, whatever angle. And I have really, really thoroughly enjoyed listening to everyone else's experiences, their point of views, and just adding so much to my toolbox. And Lara has shared so much with her expertise and her experience. I can just go on and on. It's just been phenomenal. The amount of knowledge, the amount of insight, the amount of confidence, you know, as far as validation, and you know, just the partnership, like Amber was talking about, that we have with each other. And I've done a 200-hour training. I've done several specialized yoga training certifications, and I'll tell you, none of them can compare to this. It has just been, it's just amazing. The in-depth information of all of the modules, and you know, stuff that we have forever. I've got my notebooks of each one of the modules that we've done, and that's going to stay, you know, forever with us. And the experience that we get doing the classes, it's and the teaching, and you know, the practice stuff, it's can you tell I've loved it? It's just been, it's just amazing. Really has transformed not only the way that I teach, and I've been, you know, teaching kids for a couple of years now, but it's really added a lot of depth, and has really helped me to expand and grow, and know that, you know, there's just so much information and material that we have to just, it's just endless, the creations that, you know, we can come up with. So it's amazing.
Thank you so much, all of you. It's great to hear.
Oh my gosh, I'm sad that I'm having tech issues, because you're all making me smile so much. This is so sweet. And I just saw Brittany hopped on. So we've got Brittany. Hi, Brittany. My camera's not working, but I'm smiling at you. Carrie's here. She's a PE teacher thinking about joining the course, and I'm sure some people will catch this later, although I am not convinced the live stream's working. I'm only convinced it's breaking my camera. So, because I just clicked over there. But anyways, in case the world might be able to hear, I wanted to hear from Brittany and Ava while we're still on, and anything you might want to say.
I'll go. So I did just the foundations class last summer, when that's all that Lara had, and I was able to do it in person, which is really cool. But I'm in college. I don't have a 200-hour yoga certification or anything else besides doing this, and I teach HIIT and Zumba Kids. But I feel like after doing this, I'm way more prepared to actually go out and teach a kids yoga class. And my mom's a kids yoga teacher in the schools, so she's helped me a lot. But I feel like after doing all the modules with all the different components that kind of go with it, and with it being broken down, it's made me more prepared than even before. But even with just taking the foundations class, if that's what you choose to do, after I took that last year, I taught one of Lara's curriculums in a camp. And then I also worked at another camp, and they had like special themes each week. So I really couldn't use any of Lara's stuff because it was like traveling to this country this day. So I had to kind of like make up poses out of different names. But so I had to make up my own stuff for that. But teaching Lara's stuff was a really good start because I didn't really know where to begin. And when we did the foundations course last year, it's in 3 days. So you do the 18 hours worth of work in 3 days, and I was still in school doing it, and it was like just a weekend, so it was kind of harder to process everything. But when I retook it with the 95-hour, even just doing the foundations, I feel like you'd be prepared to go out and teach the kids. But I would say, like, the one thing that helped me the most in this whole thing is doing the videos, especially the ones if you ended up doing more than just the foundations, the ones that you don't think you'd be good at doing, because I never thought that I would teach like it's like a mindful beginnings class for ages 0 to 5. I never thought I would do anything with any little kid. But my video that I submitted, the little boy that I did it with loved it, and Laura loved it, and I've been making other little videos for little kids. So I feel like it's just practicing more stuff, and you might realize you're good at something that you didn't think you were good at. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ava. That was so sweet. And I'm so proud of all you're doing. And I know you said that you only have this, but you're like going into what, your junior or sophomore year in college. I can't remember. You're way more driven.
I'm gonna be junior.
Junior, that you're just you're light years ahead of a lot of your peers. I just want to acknowledge that you are wise beyond your years, and no one ever feels like they know enough, right? Like every time I come on to teach, I'm like, I text Catherine and say, am I qualified to teach today? And she says, yes, you wrote the book. And I say, okay. And then I'd love to hear from Brittany if you want to chime in on anything.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Brittany, and I'm a music teacher. I teach private violin lessons, and I was going to take just the foundations class in New Hampshire because I live in Massachusetts. But then, of course, because of COVID, that was canceled. So I was talking to Lara about doing the whole 95 since it was online. And I was, able to rewatch if I was busy teaching and I missed a class. And I'm really glad I did, because during my lessons and just with working with kids for so long, I noticed that they would often talk to me about more than music. And I've always wanted to figure out how to better connect with them and also help themselves connect with each other. And for me, that's always been using yoga, to help better connect with myself. So that's what really brought me to want to do the training. I never thought I was good enough at yoga to teach yoga, but now I realize it's so much more than that. And so I'm just so glad I took this training, because, just taking the foundations class, I was like, yes, there's so much more I need to learn. And I'm so excited that I did do the whole 95 certification, because everything, the anatomy, learning about all the ages and the different stages of development. Even though I don't really work with the little ones anymore, now I feel like I could definitely be teaching all the different levels at all times. And the materials that Lara provides are just, I would have taken the training just for the materials themselves. And she's just, I feel like so, what do I want to say? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but generous. She's so generous with providing all of these along with the training, because the training alone is worth it, and the materials alone are worth it. So I just feel like I'm so ready to go out and teach any age now. I'm nannying for, going to be 4 tomorrow, a little girl, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. I did Lara's stuffy yoga class with the 4-year-old today, and then did some of the dragon sequence with her because she's obsessed with a stuffy dragon that I have. And then she was just sitting there while I was doing a yoga lesson with her 12-year-old brother, and she fell asleep during the meditation that I was doing with him. And she slept for an hour and she never napped. So I was like, yes, like 2.5 classes of yoga with her today, and she was just out. So that was a really special moment, and I'm really excited to see where this goes for me now, because I just feel more than confident to go out and be a yoga teacher. I'm just forever grateful to Lara and for everybody here. I feel like I've made lifelong friendships and colleagues, and I'm really excited to see what everybody does and where we all go.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I like just being, because we always have to talk on topic. We've never really had the chance to just like talk and chill too. So this is very sweet. I'm thinking about like some kind of regular conversation or ongoing way to keep everyone talking, because there's also like all the people who've taken foundations that are still in the community. So how cool would it be to come together in some way? So very called to come together again and perhaps plan something for your graduation, because I realize we have curriculum up to the last minute and then we're done. So I'll have to see when you're available. And I wanted to just say thank you to all the participants of the spring cohort that came tonight. It's like half of you are here. So that's such a testament to the love and connection. And to Carrie, there were a few other people that had expressed interest in coming, but I will just send them the recording. So if anybody else has any other questions or comments, otherwise we can be free. Okay, and Carrie, I will, you can just shoot me an email with your specific question or request, and I'm sure, or we can hop on the phone too, if that's what, depending on how millennial you are. I know on the older side of the millennials actually still talk on the phone, and I'm in.
Yeah, I'm on that older side, probably not even considered a millennial, honestly.
I'm 10, my sister who's 36 or 7 is 10, I think the last year, so who knows. But
yeah, I've got about almost 10 years on her, so.
Oh, so young. So thank you to everybody, and I'm so excited. I am glad to know the Facebook Live worked, because my technology is, and my computer is all of a month old, right? So it's not a computer, it is either user or who knows. But the Zoom calls have actually been pretty smooth, except for one day that Zoom was down. We've had very few issues. So I don't want you to think that this is the norm. It's, I think, just because we're streaming to Facebook. So
yeah.
So
well, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experience, and thank you, Lara, for answering my questions. And I will definitely shoot you an email with more specifics and things like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Love you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm super grateful.
Love you too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Saturday.
I'm blowing kisses. You just can't see.
I'm blowing them back. Mwah. Mwah.